Our concepts, and in this video we will start the next chapter, that is chapter number 11, that is force and pressure. So dear students, this is a very interesting chapter as it is related to most of your everyday experiences. So this is the chapter in which you will learn what what you have already seen and observed or noticed. Dear students, the chapter is written in a very interesting manner in the NCERT textbook. So we will go strict through the NCERT textbook, and we will do some book reading also here. So dear students, first of all, dear students, in class 7th you have learnt about motion. So what is motion? You already know that when something is changing its position with time, right, with respect to something else, it is called in motion. For example, suppose this is your home, this is the road, and this is the bus in which you are sitting, and the bus is moving and going towards your school. This is your school, suppose that, right? So you can see when it will start moving, when the bus will start running, it will change its position with respect to your home. After a few seconds it will reach here, after a few minutes it will reach your home, right? So the bus is actually changing its position with respect to your home and with time, and this is why we can say that bus is in motion. But have you ever thought how we tell that something is moving faster or slower? How do we tell and how do we compare? By comparing its speed. Do you know what is speed, dear students? Yes, you know speed. You know that speed is distance upon time, means a unit distance, means the amount of distance traveled by something that is moving in a unit time is called speed. For example, we note the speed of any car in kilometers per hour, kilometers per hour, right? Okay, so dear students, now we know that what is motion and what is speed. Now let's move on to another very important thing that you have noticed in your daily life. You see that if you hit a ball, suppose this is a football, right? Suppose this is a football, and this is, first of all, this is in the resting state. This is at rest. Right now this is at rest, right? When you kick the football, it starts moving, but after a certain period of time it comes to rest once again. So it comes to rest once again. All right, but it may also you will also notice that after you have kicked the football, gradually its speed slows down, means it starts moving slowly and it stops at a particular point of time. Sometimes it may also happen that you kick the ball, then someone else kicked the ball, and the ball changes the direction of motion and starts moving in another direction. And during this process, even not only the direction of the ball is changed, but also the speed changes, right? So here you can see, dear students, something which is in rest can be brought into motion. All right, and if something is already in motion, its speed can be changed and its direction also can be changed. So these changes are called the changes in state of motion. So let me tell you what is the meaning of change in state of motion. First, if something is at rest and you bring it to motion, then this change will be called the change in state of motion. Or if something is in motion and you bring it to the resting position, or it comes to the resting position, then again this is called change in its state of motion. Another thing, if something is in motion, suppose the ball is in motion, right, and its speed changes, then change in speed of a moving object is also included in change in state of motion. And the fourth one, if something is moving in one direction and suddenly it changes its direction of motion, so the change in direction is also called the change in state of motion. So this is very important to know what is the meaning of change in state of motion. So when something is brought into rest or from motion to rest, right, or if the speed or the direction of a moving object is changed, then we call it change in state of motion. All right, so dear students, how do we change these states? Means how do we bring something that is in rest into motion, or how do we bring something into rest, or how do we change the speed and the direction of the motion? Let's look at certain everyday activities. Okay, recall how a goalkeeper stops the ball from moving. In the same way, how a hockey player changes the direction of the ball or speed of the ball, and how a cricket player stops a ball by catching it or stopping it from going to the boundary, how he brings it to rest. In all these situations you will see that something is either being pushed or pulled. Distance, look at this table. So how do we bring changes to the state of motion, right? We are going to analyze this by doing certain activity. Look at this table. Actually, when if we talk about one example, for example, if we talk about this example, that a hockey player is changing the direction of the moving ball, then it is just pushing the ball. And when something is being pushed or pulled, we generally call that we are applying force. Look at this image also. The goalkeeper is stopping the ball, right? So when he wants to stop, he will push or pull the ball, right? And during this process he is going to actually apply certain amount of force on the ball. In the same way, the cricket player here is also applying certain amount of force by pushing or pulling. So dear students, we are going to actually recall certain more activities. What we have to do, look here, in first column the serial number is given. In the second column some description of some situations is given. For example, moving a book placed on a table, right? And then you have to categorize which action do we perform during this situation. When we want to move a book placed on a table, what we do, we push it, we pull it, or we are performing picking, hitting, lifting, lowering, flying, kicking, throwing, shutting, flicking. Which of the above we are doing when we want to move a ball placed on the table? In the same way, so we will be writing something here, and then we have to categorize it into push or pull. For example, the one example is given here, moving a book placed on a table. So when we want to move a book placed on a table, suppose this is the book which is placed on the table, so we either push it or we pull it, right? Or we generally lift it also whenever we want to move a book placed on a table. So this is why all the three actions are written here. We push it, we pull it, or we lift it. And these three actions can be categorized into both push or pull. Yes and yes. All right, so in the same way, let's do this one. When we want to open or shut a door, what we do? When we open the door, we generally pull it. When we shut the door, we generally push it, but we do not lift it. So it again can be categorized both as push and pull. Now if we talk about this one, drawing a bucket of water from well, then what we do? We lift it and we pull it, because when we are drawing a bucket of water from a well, we are generally lifting it and we are pulling it towards our body or towards our side. So we will just categorize it as a pull, not as a push. All right, then a football player taking a penalty kick. So during this thing, what we do, we generally do hitting, we can say, or kicking or pushing, right? So we can write it here, and it will be categorized as a push. So whenever a football player is taking a penalty kick, it is pushing the ball. In the same way, when a cricket ball is hit by batsman, so when you are playing cricket and suppose you are hitting the ball with the help of a bat, then you are actually pushing it, and it will be categorized as a push, as a push. All right. Then moving a loaded cart. Again, during moving a loaded cart, we are either pulling or pushing it. Okay, so we can categorize it both as a push or a pull. Then opening a drawer, we are generally pulling it, right? So this is again a pull. So here you can see, for doing almost every physical work that you do, right, you have to do either push or pull. And dear students, in scientific language, the push or pull is actually a way of applying force. So we can say force is a push or a pull. So this is why the heading is given here, force is either a push or a pull. All right. So dear students, again, when when does a force come into play? This is what we need to know now. We have to learn when a force comes into play. What is a force we have learned, and when force comes into play, let's look at certain images. Look at this heading. What is written? Forces are due to an interaction. So students, there was a question, when forces come into play, and the answer is that forces come into play when there is an interaction between the things. For example, look at this picture. Here you can see there is a car and there is a man, but the car is actually not starting. So how will the car move? This man asks this person for help, and the second person in yellow shirt starts pushing the car so that the car is moving downwards on the road, right? So dear students, as long as the car and this man were not interacting, there was actually no work functioning, or no force functioning between the two, or working between the two. But once the man it interacts with the car or touches the car, you see a force comes into play, means this person starts applying force on the car and the car starts moving. Next, here you can see, these twins, the two girls are pushing each other. They are actually pushing each other, so they are applying force on each other, but only when they are interacting with each other, means they are holding each other. Okay, in the same way, here you can see the two girls are pulling each other. In this case, they are pulling each other, and again they are interacting with each other. This is how the force comes into play. So these twins, in order to a force to come into play between the things should interact in one or the other way. Here you can see in another image, here you can see that you can see the man is pulling that one, the animal, and the animal is pulling the man. So in this way, here you can see again they are interacting, and you can say that the force comes into play when there is an interaction between the things. All right. So from these examples, we can infer that at least two objects must interact for a force to come into play. All right. Now look at means look at this one. A very important point is given here. Look what Paheli is thinking. It is written, I learned in class 6th that a magnet attracts a piece of iron towards it. In is is attraction also a pull? Means when a magnet is attracting the iron, is it also a pull? Then what about repulsion between the poles of two magnets? Is it a pull or push? So dear students, as you know, suppose this is a bar magnet and this has a north pole and south pole, and suppose this one is the iron, means something made up of iron, right? So you see that it will be getting it will be attracted towards a magnet. So this attraction is again a pull. So this is a certain type of pull. So we can say that the magnet is again applying force on the iron by pulling it. And we have also learned that the two similar poles of a bar magnet repel each other. So there is a repulsion between the two. So this repulsion is again a type of force. So again here you can see that the two things are coming interacting with each other. In this case, this iron article and the magnet, these two things are interacting with each other, and here the two magnets themselves are interacting with each other. So dear students, in this video we learned what is a force. We know when we do something, when we apply something pull or push, we are applying force. And we know that the force comes into play when there is an interaction between the things. And we also know that a force can bring change in state of motion, that is, either it can bring something into motion or it may change the speed and direction of the motion. Thank you for watching this video. The remaining topics will be discussed in the next videos.